Hello and welcome to the California Department of Education Summer Convening, this presentation by GED Testing Service in August of 2023, again by GED Testing Service. I would like to welcome all of you. I am Debbie Fawcett. My photo is in the center, and I'd like to introduce my two colleagues who support me in the state of California. We have Lisa Poole Osorio, who is in the Los Angeles area and available to travel as needed to any one of your sites for help and assistance. And the photo to the right is Jana Forsyth, who is also a California native and who supports me in efforts in California from her home in San Antonio, Texas, in that area. And again, I am Debbie Fawcett. I've been with the testing service for 13 years, been in adult ed over 30 years, and most of that was at the state director for Louisiana Department of Education and in the community and technical college system, state director for adult ed and GED testing. So you have three people who are ready and willing to answer any of your questions at any time. But for today, we're going to talk about, in this session, we will explore the growth and successes of the past year. We will not go into detail on about the resources, materials, and professional development, because we have much of that information available to you on our website that we can direct you to, and we will talk briefly about how to find it. And we will discuss how we can partner to work smarter, not harder. And most of all, in the live sessions, we will have time to answer your questions. I'd like to start with what the California data tells us. Since our last summer convening, we have had steady monthly additions of testing centers to the more than 220 active GED testing centers in California. We from the testing service want to thank you for your confidence in adding and bringing us into your testing centers. You have had a 15% increase in the number of GED test takers from 2021 to 21-22 to 22-23. And I'm happy to say that more than 300 educators access GED Manager via Prep Connect, with new requests coming to our sites weekly. We think that's an excellent tool and resource that keeps you up to date with how you can best serve your students. California has also increased access to the GED test, and the student outcomes are higher than the national outcomes. You should be very proud of that. We have not only the California data, but we also can compare that to our national statistics, and you all are above our national statistics in many of the categories. What the California data tells us: for the 2022-23 fiscal year, there were 17,491 test takers. I will tell you that is a 15% increase in the number of GED test takers from the previous year. And these next two bullet points show an approximately 20% increase from the previous year. You had 10,681 completers, 8,184 passers, and you have a California 77% pass rate, which is actually 2 percentage points higher than the 75% national pass rate. So kudos to you all. I think all of this points to the fact that your students are back in the classroom, where they can get that good one-on-one instruction, and we are still making available the online and hybrid models, but the bottom line is your students are back, your numbers are up, and you are having great and good success with the students who are in your classroom. Another point you should be very proud of is you made a monumental jump in the percentage of your students who scored in the college and career ready and the College and Career Ready Plus credit level. Between 21-22 and 22-23, you doubled the number of students to 16% of your test takers are scoring in the College and Career Ready numbers, and 6% are scoring in the College and Career Ready Plus credit. I can also tell you that the number of people online testing has decreased. You are now at a point where about 80% of your test takers are testing in your test centers, and only 20% are doing the online proctored test. The next thing we'll talk about, in brief, as I said earlier, are your resources, where to find them and how to use them. We just completed our 2023 annual GED conference in New York City a week and a half ago. If you are looking for professional development, 1 hour and 15-minute components that you could pull down and use with your classroom teachers or your administrators in professional development at your site, the general overview is that we had 7 different sessions that were geared primarily toward the administrators, 13 general sessions, and I would say that those sessions, the general sessions, have something for everybody in adult ed. It doesn't matter what part of the adult ed stakeholder group you represent. We had 5 sessions directly aimed at our GED examiners, and they were conducted by a former state of Kentucky manager of adult ed and GED testing who now works with us. So great knowledge and information for GED examiners. We had a separate strand for corrections education and 5 individual corrections education sessions. If you were an educator, we had 14 content-related sessions across the spectrum. And important to us as an organization, and especially to the population we serve, both as educators and as students, we had 3 sessions specifically designed for diversity, equity, and inclusion. I would urge you to take a look at the GED.com website. We will have PDFs of each of these sessions posted that you are eligible to draw down and use as you would like to for your own purposes of professional development. We are your one-stop source for resources. You know that in the past, at our link at https://www.ged.com, we have taken the time to go over each of these resources. So this is a list to remind you of what you can go and get in great detail on our website. For the educators and administrators, make sure you look up information about how to access and use GED Manager, GED Prep Connect, GED Analytics, most importantly, the assessment guide for educators, which we abbreviate as AGE. Also, what I think is most helpful there are the appendices for the glossary and test topics. Make sure you look in the appendices of each of the 4 content area guides on our website. If you have educators who are just coming into the adult ed arena, I would highly recommend that you steer them toward the Educator Handbook. And we always have our list of YouTube videos on our Tuesdays for Teachers professional development that we have done for the past several years. All of these are great resources that you can draw down and use as you please. For students, always remember it is important for the students to use our computer-based tutorial, our calculator tutorial, our study guides. It is important for you to share with our students our GED Works program, because if they are employed with any of the 100+ employers who pay for their students without diplomas to access supplementary study materials for GED. They can take advantage of your classes and in addition, have their employer be paying for all of their testing. So it's very important to look up GED Works on our website. I mentioned GED Plus because it is a bundling of supplemental of materials to study and testing that we put together for the cohort of students, which is about 55 to 65% of our test takers who never set foot in an adult ed classroom. I just want you to be aware of that if a student asks about it. And what I think is one of the most important teaching tools we provide is the score report that you, your students, if they choose to share scores with you, you can pull down that score report and you can give a very good narrative to them about where they really need to focus their studies to get over the hump and earn their credential. We also have some new things. So let's talk about some innovations and some updates. Again, here is our effort to forge a partnership to work smarter, not harder. If you're new to adult education and GED testing, I would urge you to print off from our website the Welcome Reference Guide. This GED Welcome Reference Guide is intended to assist you in navigating and understanding the GED testing service system. We hope this will be a good starting point as you learn how to better serve your administration team as well as your students. If you have any other questions as someone new to adult ed, you should reach out to your state relationship managers. I am the lead state relationship manager, but you can also email Lisa or Jana or our operations team to answer any of your questions moving forward. One of the other innovations we have made that will be introduced before the end of this year is our GED mobile app. As I said, it will be available before year's end. Our guiding principle on this is to offer an easy to access resource that can make a difference in the lives of learners. We also wanted to provide simplicity and forge relationships, build that community of learners. So often we find that people think this is a struggle that is all their own. And through a mobile app, the community that we can forge, it helps bring a sense of togetherness and they're not in this alone. So we look forward to the release of this app in the near future and definitely by the end of the year. One of the other partnerships we're very excited about is partnering with an organization called With You, With Me. One of the key components is a free learning preference assessment. We've partnered with You, With Me because it is a new initiative aimed at improving student learning outcomes. They have a wonderful logo that is just an iteration of W and Y's placed across the board. WI, 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 with you, with me. The reason we partnered with them is one of the advantages is a free GED learning preference assessment. It is launched and available for free at www.ged.com. This learning assessment provides insights to students about what is truly their learning style. You all are very adept in knowing what those are. It goes directly to the learner when they do the assessment, and it tells them, are they kinesthetic learners, auditory, visual? When they understand how they can use and process information in the best way, that has got to help them with their studying process. And when we as teachers can know this about our students, that helps us make quantum leaps in how to address our teaching styles and styles that we present information to the different students in our classroom. I will also tell you that more information about With You, With Me is going to be delivered in our Tuesdays for Teachers sessions that will take place beginning in September of this fall. Very important. We think this is going to be great strides. You're good at content. Now, what else can we do to help support our learners? And we think this is the next step. Also, we are always learning, which is our company logo, but we are always learning through our ongoing research with our partners. We are looking to improve the student's experience by listening to concerns voiced from the field. Our research group does a lot of information gathering from both our teachers and our students, because that's how we make informed changes to the test and to the preparation materials based on the research with the educators and students. Some examples of that over the years that you are aware of are changes we made to the extended response portion of the RLA GED test several years ago. We are working to make edits and changes to the score reports. And I want you all to know that we're working on multiple research projects in place at any given time. And we usually are looking for volunteer teachers, programs, etc. I will make sure to make you aware when those opportunities are available. We'd love to have some of you join us. Now let's talk about some operational changes, because the purpose of this was for me to share information with you, not about content, because you can find it, not about resources, because we talked to you about that, but what is it that you need to know to make your day-to-day job a little easier. By the time we are doing these summer convenings, I think you are all aware that a price change and a retake policy went into effect on July 1, 2023. The biggest news is that there was a $6 increase per subject test for the GED exam. There are still discounted retakes of $15 per subject area. However, we are going, by the end of June 2024, there will only be one discounted retake of $15 per subject area test available. So on the online proctored test, we already charge $41 per subject for the online test, and there is no change. And you all are aware that on the online proctored test, there is no discounted retake for the online proctored test. Should you have any more questions, you can go to the California State Policy page on our website. The correct testing price information is loaded on the website. The next thing that you will have encountered, and I hope you all have had no problem with it, is our change to multi-factor authentication to access GED Manager. All of you who have GED Manager access received the emails earlier this year telling you that as of July 25th, MFA, or multi-factor authentication, is needed to log into GED Manager. You've probably already been prompted for your username and password and an authentication response from your MFA device. There is a portion of there that says, remember this device, and that feature is going to work when the user has checked the box and submits a valid code. MFA is then bypassed for 90 days for subsequent logins. So you don't have to do it but about every 3 months, but you do have to set it up if you want to access. Okay, and our corrections people do not have to worry. Your authentication can be either done by your mobile phone or by an email. Another service that we have provided that we think provides you some help here is GED Direct versus GED Marketplace in purchasing GED tests and GED Ready practice tests. What you know is we no longer go to Pearson VUE Voucher Store. You are a GED Direct person if you have access to GED Manager, and you go to GED Marketplace, that is the public facing side, or if you don't have access to GED Manager. So GED Direct is a smoother, faster, there are benefits, and we'll talk a little bit about those benefits, because we do have a guide to ordering, which clearly spells out in about 12 pages how you can choose either GED Direct and GED Marketplace if you would like to use that to order and make a more streamlined process for purchasing your vouchers. I want to back up and make a couple of comments. You should use GED Direct to purchase GED test and practice test if you have a GED Manager access, if you want to manage and track usage of learners, if you have a credit card or credit terms with Pearson, but you also may use a PO and a check. The benefits of GED Direct: your tests have no expiration date, you can monitor the usage, and you have no voucher codes to manage. You would choose to order through GED Marketplace if you don't have GED Manager access, if you don't have a need to manage and track usage of learner tests, if you have a credit card or credit terms with Pearson, or you can set up credit lines to use a PO and a check. The benefit of Marketplace is anyone from the public can order on GED Marketplace. And those vouchers come with numbers and an 18-month expiration date that you can always extend should you not use them all during the time period. Now let's talk about, I think, the hardest thing for us to get across to everybody. We always need to talk about, where do you go for customer service? You know you have We3 State Relationship Managers. I want to make sure you know the details. When you are sitting at a testing center, you see that phone number. When you need assistance, customer service for all. On the left-hand side of our PowerPoint, only for GED testing centers, we have a separate GED support line, and the number 888-344-7924 is listed for you. You can also go to the website at http://www.pearsonhelp, all one word, pearsonhelp.com. This is only for test center personnel. Do not give this number to students, because then it gets bogged down with way too many calls. And this is a line we set up especially for testing centers so they could shortcut the waits that they may have when they go through any of the general call center numbers. It is an all-in-one service. You can ask questions about quality control. You can ask questions about technology and customer support. And as I stated, please do not give this number to students. It's for test center personnel to help them get to someone faster than through the general numbers of a call center. For students and candidates, and you can allow them to call right from your center, we do have a GED support line for students and candidates. That is a different number, 877-392-6433. You may email questions to help@ged.com. And the phone number also appears on the website at https://www.ged.com. And for those of you who have access to GED Manager, we put the important information right on your homepage for GED Manager. These are your two primary sources for testing center help and students and candidate help. That being said, always remember your two primary California State Relationship Managers are me, Debbie Fawcett, debi.faucette@ged.com, telephone 202-302-6658, and my colleague in the Los Angeles area, Lisa Poole Osorio, lisa.pool-osorio@ged.com. 818-517-8606. We are always here for you. You never have to start a comment by saying, "I'm sorry to bother you," because my comment is, "It's my job." Please remember to talk to us when you believe that there has been a breakdown in some form of communication in solving a problem you have shared. We need to know it. Both GED Testing Service and our partners, Pearson VUE, are very interested to know anytime it doesn't work smoothly, because primary comfort to you all is our job number one. Providing customer service to you and the students is our primary focus, and we do that through the resources and problem solving that we take pride in answering very quickly for you. And with that, I would like to say thank you. I also want to make sure, as I just let you know, let's stay connected. You know how to find me, you know how to find Lisa, and you know that any way you want to communicate with GED Testing Service, all you have to do is email help@ged.com, and when they see it as California, it will get routed to us. So I tell everyone, if you can't remember our names, just send it to help@ged.com and mention that you need a California representative, and it's going to come directly to us. With that, I would hope that the presentation here has piqued some questions that we will be happy to follow up and answer should you email us. I also know that there is a substantial note-taking guide that will be attached to this document that will give you all of the details and information behind the facts that we have shared on this screen. So at this point, I would like to say thank you. Hope to hear from you soon, either by telephone or email. You guys have a good day and get off to a great new year. Thank you.